Howdy all, this is Shane. I'm here to talk about the recording process and the pros and cons of doing it on your own versus going into a studio. Now, the biggest disadvantage of doing it on your own is that there's a huge learning curve. Now, if you're anything like me, you might want to learn how to do this sort of stuff. Now, recording takes time to learn the basics, everything from mics to mic placements to cables to the interface or console, depending on which way you want to go. I prefer using an interface or a sound card into my computer and recording digitally onto my computer. I just find that the easiest. Now, the learning curve is quite steep, but what you'll find is after you've played around with it for maybe 5 to 10 hours, you'll get a really good feel on what does what in a very basic form. Mixing is a whole other art altogether, but there's so many good tutorials on YouTube and there's so many good tutorials on the internet about what frequencies can manipulate what instruments. Now, the advantage of doing it on your own is you can learn and improve over time to a point where your recordings are as good as recordings that you aspired to sounding like. You'll never get it right the first time. Few people actually do. It's taken me 3 albums of my own work to get it to a point where I'm really, really proud of the sound quality, and not only that, but the feel of the album. Everything just sort of fit right, and it took 3 goes. While I was proud of my album before that, at the time, I've seen a huge jump as your ears improve and your mixing quality and the sound that's going into the computer is better to start with, and that's a huge, huge thing. And alternatively, the biggest advantage of going to a studio is they own all the microphones, they have a room, everything's set up. As long as you know your songs, you can get it done. Doing it that way is great, but it's also very expensive. You can buy most of the gear you'll need to get this done on your own, instead of having to pay someone else to record it for you. It depends sort of what level you're at. I mean, for me, I'm a home studio guy, so I like to use what I have to the best of my ability. And it's taken me many years to get a collection of things that I know that work for me and I can get good results out of, not only from the interface, but from mics. And I don't expect anyone to just go out and spend $5,000 and buy everything they need. They might not even have to spend that much. It depends where you live too. But for me, I bought like about 10 really good mics, relatively good microphones. There's a lot more expensive stuff out there and there's a lot cheaper stuff out there, but I've got good results with the mics that I've had. And over time, I've learned not to just trust a brand name when there's other things that do exactly the same or better for a lot less. And it's one of those things where if you can buy a microphone that might do 3 or 4 different applications, like you can put it in front of a guitar amp or on a cymbal or this or that, that's a great thing too. Some microphones give you the flexibility of a switch that might drop the overall input volume so you can use it for something else as well. It's great. If you get good results, you may actually get work recording other bands, and I'm not sure if anyone's interested in doing that sort of thing, but that has opened up a lot of doors for me in the past. I've maybe recorded about 10 bands live. I've done 3 other albums for different people, and it's been good. It's sort of paid for the gear and it's enjoyable. I mean, how can you go wrong? I think the main thing to remember is that anytime you're going into a studio to pay somebody to record you, your band or your solo act has to be solid and to a point where you know your stuff so well that you can do it time and time again. The disadvantage of that is if you don't, it can get frustrating and expensive, which tends to put people off. If you already own your gear, for me, I could do a vocal take 20 or 30 times to get it to the way that I'm happy with it, but it might take me a week. So take that into consideration too. It's good having the freedom of being able to spend, say, $400 or $500 on a microphone and then use it for 3 albums instead of paying someone $500 for the day or for 2 days, or depending on where you live and what they charge. So take that into account. I think home recording is a really cool thing to do. If you have any questions regarding what mics I use, please post a message down there and let me know if you're interested in drums, guitars, vocals, anything. I'll respond as soon as I can. I really appreciate it. Cheers all. See ya.